The stars looked different now. Cold, distant, uncaring. Captain Day Kang floated in the observation deck of what used to be the colony ship New Dawn. Now it was just a broken shell, drifting among thousands of other dead ships. The attack had come without warning. The Varathian warships had torn through their shields like paper, ripping the colony ship apart in minutes. 3,000 colonists had survived. 12,000 had not. Day pressed his hand against the cracked viewport. Outside, the graveyard stretched in every direction. Broken hulls, shattered engines, twisted metal that once belonged to ships from 100 different species. This place had seen so many deaths, so many battles. The wreckage floated in silent testament to Galactic War. Captain, life support is failing in Section 7. The voice crackled through his helmet radio. It was Jin Park, the ship's systems engineer. His voice sounded tired. Everyone sounded tired now. Seal it off, Day said. Move those people to Section 4. Section 4 is already overcrowded. Then make room. Day pushed off the viewport and drifted toward the command center. The corridor was dark. Emergency lights flickered red. Bodies floated past him wrapped in plastic sheets. They didn't have time for proper burials. They barely had time to breathe. The command center was chaos. People shouted over each other. Screens showed damage reports. Everything was red. Everything was dying. Hana Choi looked up from her console. She was young, maybe 25, with sharp eyes that missed nothing. Before the attack, she had been the weapons maintenance officer. Now she was all they had. Captain, we've got maybe 3 weeks of air left, she said. Food for 2 months if we ration hard. Water for 6 weeks? What about the distress beacon? Someone asked. Day shook his head. No beacon. The Varathians are still out there. They'll come back to finish the job. Then we're dead anyway, Jin muttered. He looked older than his 30 years. His hand shook as he worked his console. Maybe not. Day pulled up a holographic map of the debris field. Hundreds of wrecks appeared as dots. Look at this. This isn't just human wreckage. There are Chromalian ships here. Thalaxian cruisers. Even some Varathian destroyers. So what? Jin asked. They're all scrap. Exactly. Day zoomed in on a cluster of wrecks. But scrap can be useful. Every one of these ships has something we can use. Power cores, shield generators, weapons. We're sitting in the middle of the biggest salvage yard in the galaxy. Hana's eyes widened. You want to build something? I want to build a ship, Day said. A warship. The room went silent. Then everyone started talking at once. That's insane, Jin said. We don't have the tools, someone else shouted. We're colonists, not shipbuilders. We don't have a choice. Day's voice cut through the noise. We can sit here and die slowly. We can send a distress signal and die quickly. Or we can do something impossible. Like what? Jin challenged. Build a warship from garbage? With what crew? What weapons? What plan? Day pointed at the map. We have 3,000 people, engineers, mechanics, technicians. We have cutting torches. We have the New Dawn's fabricators. And we have a graveyard full of parts. Narration spoke up. She was the medical officer, quiet and thoughtful. How long would this take? Months, Day admitted. Maybe a year, maybe more. People will die during construction, Mira said softly. We're already losing 2 or 3 every day from injuries. Radiation exposure, stress. People will definitely die if we do nothing, Hana said. She stood up, moving to the holographic display. Captain, what if we could make this work? What would we build? Day smiled for the first time in days. Something the galaxy has never seen. The next morning, Day called a general assembly. 3,000 survivors gathered in the cargo bay. It was the only space big enough to hold everyone. They looked scared, hungry, lost. Day didn't give them hope. He gave them truth. The Varathians destroyed our ship. They killed our families. They left us here to die. His voice echoed in the vast space. We can accept that. Or we can fight back. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. I'm proposing we build a warship. Right here. Right now. Using everything in this graveyard. It won't be pretty. It won't be safe. Many of us will die trying. But if we succeed, we'll have something no one expects. A weapon, a chance, a future. We're not soldiers, someone shouted. No, Day agreed. We're survivors. That's better. The vote took 3 hours. Arguments broke out. Fistfights started and stopped. In the end, the choice was simple. 2,000 voted to build. 800 voted to send a distress signal. 200 abstained. Democracy won. Construction would begin. Kim volunteered for the first salvage team. He was 19 years old and had trained as a shuttle pilot. His hands were steady. His mind was quick. Day liked him immediately. "You understand the risks?" Day asked. "Those wrecks are unstable. One wrong move and you're dead." "I understand, sir." Tay's voice didn't waver. "Good. Take a team of 5. Start with the closest Chromalian wreck. We need their shield generators intact." That first salvage mission lasted 6 hours. Tay and his team cut through the Chromalian hull with plasma torches. They found the shield generator buried under collapsed bulkheads. It took 4 hours to extract it. One team member died when a structural beam collapsed. They brought back both the generator and the body. Mira performed the funeral that evening. They ejected the body into space, wrapped in the remains of an old colony flag. No words, no ceremony. They didn't have time for grief. Jin examined the shield generator with skepticism. "This is Chromalian tech. We can't even read their systems." "Then learn," Day said. Over the next 2 weeks, salvage teams brought back more components: a Thalaxian power core, Farathian armor plating, human missile tubes from a destroyed frigate, alien computers whose purpose no one understood. Each piece was different. Each piece was precious. Hana began designing the weapons systems. She spread out schematics on every available surface. "If we combine this mass driver with these energy capacitors, we could build something incredible. Or blow ourselves up," Jin pointed out. "Also possible," Hana admitted cheerfully. Day watched his people work. They were exhausted, scared, but they were working. That meant something. That meant hope wasn't completely dead. Late one night, Mira found him in the observation deck again. "You should sleep," she said. "Can't. Too much to do." "Everyone says that. Then they collapse." She handed him a ration bar. "Eat, doctor's orders." Dee took the bar. "Do you think we can actually do this? Build a warship from trash?" "Probably not." Mira smiled. "But I've seen impossible things before. Humans are good at surviving." Outside the viewport, a salvage team's lights flickered among the wreckage. Small figures in spacesuits moving through the graveyard of empires, building something new from something dead. 3,000 people, Day said quietly. "Against the galaxy." "The galaxy should be worried," Mira replied. Day allowed himself to believe her. Just a little. Just enough to keep going. The warship would be built. Not because it was possible, but because it had to be. 6 months changed everything. The skeleton of something impossible took shape in the void. It didn't look like any ship that had ever existed. Long sections of Chromalian hull plating connected to Varathian armor blocks. Human structural beams welded to Thalaxian support struts. It was ugly, asymmetrical. Wrong in every way that mattered to traditional ship design. Jin Park stood in his workspace, surrounded by holographic blueprints that shifted and changed every hour. His hair had gone gray at the temples. He barely slept anymore. "This shouldn't work," he muttered to himself. "None of this should work," but it did, somehow. The ship's frame stretched 2 kilometers long now. Salvage teams had brought back components from 40 different wrecks. Each piece required custom integration. Each connection was unique. Jin had designed a modular architecture that could accept wildly different technologies. It was brilliant. It was insane. It was the only option they had. Day floated through the construction site, magnetic boots keeping him anchored to a partially completed deck. Welding sparks flashed in the darkness. Hundreds of workers moved like ants, building something impossibly large from impossibly small pieces. "Captain," Tay's voice crackled through the radio. "We found something in Wreck Delta 7. "What kind of something?" "You need to see this yourself, sir." Day pushed off and flew toward the salvage zone. Tay waited at the entrance to a massive Chromalian battlecruiser. The ship had been dead for maybe 50 years. Radiation had cooked everything inside. "In there?" Day asked, deep inside. "Engineering section. It's intact. They moved through twisted corridors. Emergency lights still functioned, casting green shadows. Bodies floated past. Chromalian soldiers, still in their armor, frozen in death. The engineering bay was pristine, untouched by whatever had killed the ship. In the center, a sphere of crystalline material pulsed with faint blue light. It was 3 meters across, connected to the ship's power grid by cables as thick as Day's arm. "Is that what I think it is?" Day whispered. Tay nodded. "A Chromalian shield generator. Full-sized, military grade, and it's still powered up. That's impossible. The ship is dead. The generator has its own power source, some kind of quantum battery. It could run for another 1,000 years. Tay's voice filled with excitement. Sir, this is top-tier Chromalian tech. Their shields are legendary. If we can integrate this, our ship becomes nearly invincible, Day finished. They extracted the generator over 3 days. It took 12 people working in shifts. One woman died when a support cable snapped. Her name was Yuna. She had been a botanist. She had dreamed of planting gardens on a new world. Mira added her name to the growing list. Hana examined the generator with wide eyes. This is incredible. Chromalian shields work completely different from human shields. They don't just absorb energy. They redistribute it across multiple dimensions. Can you integrate it with our systems? Dai asked. I have no idea, Hana admitted. But I'll figure it out or die trying. Jin looked at the generator with pure suspicion. This thing uses physics I don't understand. The power requirements alone should be impossible. How do we even connect it to our power grid? Carefully, Hana said with a grin. The first integration test nearly killed everyone. They connected the Chromalian generator to the ship's main power core. Human fusion reactor meeting alien quantum technology. Jin had calculated every variable. Run every simulation. On paper it should work. Reality disagreed. The moment power flowed, the generator pulsed. Energy feedback cascaded through the ship's systems. Lights exploded. Consoles burst into flames. The entire half-built ship shook like a living thing. Shut it down, Day shouted. I'm trying. Jin's hands flew across his console. The system isn't responding. The generator's light grew brighter. Bluer. The air started to smell like ozone and burning metal. Hana ran to the main power junction. She didn't think. She just moved. Her hands grabbed the manual disconnect lever. Electricity arced across her suit. She screamed and pulled. The power cut. The generator dimmed. The ship went dark and silent. Mira found Hana unconscious, burns covering her hands and arms. Get her to medical now. Hana woke up 3 days later. Her hands were wrapped in synthetic skin. Everything hurt? The generator? She asked. You're worried about the generator? Mira shook her head. You almost died. But did it work? Day appeared in the doorway. The feedback was caused by incompatible power frequencies. Jin figured it out. We need a buffer system, something to translate between human and Chromalian power signatures. The Thalaxian bioprocessors, Hana said immediately. They can adapt to any energy pattern. We use them as a bridge. You should rest, Mira said firmly. I'll rest when we're done. Hana sat up, wincing. How much time do we have? Air for 2 weeks, Day said quietly. Food for 3. We're behind schedule. Then we better hurry. The next attempt worked. The Thalaxian bioprocessors created a living buffer between the power core and the shield generator. The system came online smoothly. Perfectly. The shield formed around the ship like a bubble of blue light. Everyone in the construction site cheered. That night, they celebrated with double rations. It wasn't much. Synthetic protein and recycled water. But it tasted like victory. Jin allowed himself a small smile. Maybe this crazy plan isn't completely insane. Just mostly insane, Hana said. Her hands were healing. She was already working on weapon designs again. Tay stood at the helm controls testing the response systems. The ship didn't have a proper bridge yet. Just a collection of stations cobbled together from different wrecks. But when he touched the controls, something responded. Not just machinery. Something more. The ship feels alive, he said to Day. That's the Thalaxian bioprocessors. They create a neural network throughout the ship's systems. No, sir. I mean, it feels aware. Like it's watching us, Day considered this. Is that a problem? Tay thought for a moment. I don't think so. It's just different. 3 weeks later, disaster struck again. A Varathian patrol passed through the sector. 3 scout ships scanning for salvage. They came within 10 kilometers of the construction site. Everyone shut down, Day ordered. All power, all movement. Play dead. 3,000 people held their breath. The construction site went dark. The half-built warship drifted among the other wrecks, trying to look like just another piece of garbage. Trying to be invisible. The Varathian scouts scanned for 14 hours. Day floated in the command center watching the sensor feeds. The Varathian ships moved closer. Their scanners swept across the debris field. Any moment now they would see something. Notice something. The construction site was too big. Too obviously organized, one of the scout ships stopped. Its scanners focused on their position. "They see us," Jin whispered. Hana's hand moved toward the weapons controls. They had one partially functional particle cannon. Maybe enough for one shot. The Varathian ship held position for 5 minutes. Then it moved away. All 3 scouts jumped to faster-than-light speed and disappeared. Nobody moved for another hour. Finally, Mira spoke. "They didn't see us. They saw us," Day said. "They just didn't think we were worth investigating. We looked like trash, like all the other wrecks." "We are trash," Jin said. "Very dangerous trash." That night, Mira found evidence that changed everything. She was reviewing old data recovered from a Varathian wreck. Navigation logs, battle reports, trade routes. "Day, you need to see this." He looked at her screen. The data showed Varathian patrol patterns. They formed a grid around this sector. Ships came here regularly. They waited. They watched. "This isn't a graveyard," Mira said quietly. "This is a trap. The Varathians lure ships here. They attack them. They leave them to die in the debris field. How many ships? Hundreds. Over 20 years. Maybe thousands before that." Her voice shook. "This is a killing field, and we're just the latest victims." Day stared at the data. Anger burned in his chest, cold, hard, focused. "Then we'll make them regret it," he called an assembly. Showed everyone the evidence, explained what the Varathians had done. Not just to them, to countless other species. Countless other innocents. The mood changed. Before they were building to escape. To survive. Now they were building to fight back. Hana worked 18-hour days. She integrated every weapon system she could find. Mass drivers. Energy cannons. Missile tubes. Some of the technology she didn't understand. She made it work anyway. Jin stopped complaining. Started planning. His modular architecture became more ambitious. More aggressive. Tay practiced piloting and simulation. The ship responded to his thoughts faster than his hands. The bioprocessors were learning from him. Adapting to him. Mira documented everything. Every death. Every sacrifice. Every small victory. She knew this story needed to be told. The ship was no longer just survival. It was revenge. It was justice. It was a message written in scrap metal and alien technology. The galaxy had tried to kill them. They were building something that would kill back. Month 18 arrived with unexpected silence. The ship was complete. Not beautiful, not elegant, but complete. Day stood in what passed for the bridge. Mismatched consoles formed a semicircle around a central command chair that had been salvaged from a Thalaxian cruiser. The view screen was actually 3 different screens cobbled together, each showing slightly different color tones. Cables ran across the floor like veins. Everything hummed with different frequencies. It looked terrible. It looked perfect. "All sections report ready," Jin said from his station. He had dark circles under his eyes, but his voice was steady. "Power core is online. Shield generator is charged. Life support is functioning in all compartments." "Weapons status?" Day asked. Hana grinned from her console. "The main cannon is ready. I've also got 47 secondary batteries online, plus about 200 missile tubes we converted from various systems. Sir, I have no idea if half of these will work, but they're all loaded and armed." "That's the spirit," Day muttered. Tay sat at the helm. His hands rested on controls that came from 4 different ships. His neural interface connected directly to the Thalaxian bioprocessors. When he closed his eyes, he could feel the ship around him. Every deck, every system, every piece of scrap welded together in defiance of physics and common sense. "She's ready, sir," Tay said softly. "Does she have a name?" "The crew has been calling her the Scrap Phoenix," Day nodded. "Rising from ashes, reborn from death." It fit. "All hands, this is Captain Kang. Prepare for power-up sequence. Final power-up. If this works, we fly. If it doesn't," he paused. "Well, it was nice knowing you all." Nervous laughter echoed through the ship's communication system. "Jin, bring all systems online." "Full power." Jin's hands moved across his console. "Initiating main power. Routing through Thalaxian buffers. Connecting to Chromalian shield generator. Engaging human fusion core." The ship hummed, then vibrated, then roared to life. Lights blazed across every deck. The view screen cleared, showing the debris field in perfect detail. The shield generator pulsed with blue light. The engines thrummed with barely contained power, but something else happened too. Something unexpected. The bioprocessors activated fully. Their network spread throughout the ship, connecting every system into one vast consciousness. The scrap Phoenix didn't just turn on. It woke up, Tay gasped. Sir, I'm getting feedback from the ship's systems. It's not just responding to commands. It's thinking. What do you mean, thinking? Tay asked. The bioprocessors have merged with all the other systems. They've created some kind of emergent intelligence. The ship is aware. Is it hostile? Tay concentrated, feeling the ship's presence in his mind. It was curious, confused, young. Like a child opening its eyes for the first time. No, sir. It's welcoming. It knows we built it. It wants to help us. Jin checked his readings. This shouldn't be possible. Bioprocessors don't work this way. They're just organic computers. They don't become sentient. Maybe not alone, Hana said. But we connected them to 6 different alien technologies. Maybe the combination created something new. Can you control it? Dee asked Tay. Yes, sir. It responds to my thoughts faster than I can speak commands. It's like the ship and I are. He searched for words. Connected. Good. Then let's see if this thing can fly. Tay, take us up. Nice and slow. Tay's thoughts reached out to the ship. The engines responded immediately. Maneuvering thrusters fired in perfect sequence. The scrap Phoenix lifted away from the New Dawn's wreckage. Slowly, smoothly, gracefully. The entire crew watched through viewports and monitors. Their impossible ship rising from the graveyard. 2 kilometers of scrap metal and alien technology, moving like a living thing. Someone started clapping. Then everyone joined. 3,000 survivors cheering as their warship took flight. All systems stable, Jin reported, surprise evident in his voice. This actually worked. We actually built a functioning warship. Full sensor sweep, Day ordered. I want to know everything about this ship's capabilities. Over the next 3 days, they tested every system. The engines performed beyond expectations. The hybrid drive system created unexpected space-folding effects. The ship could move faster than anything its size should manage. The shields were incredible. The Chromalian generator, buffered by Thalaxian bioprocessors, created overlapping defensive layers. Each alien technology compensated for the other's weaknesses. Energy attacks were absorbed. Physical impacts were deflected. Even radiation slid harmlessly away, but the real surprise was stealth. Sir, our hybrid systems are creating unusual interference patterns, Jen reported. The different technologies don't interact smoothly. They create electromagnetic noise across multiple frequencies. That's bad, right? Day asked. Actually, it makes us almost invisible. Standard sensors can't get a clean reading. We look like background radiation. Like space junk. Unless someone knows exactly what to scan for, they won't see us coming. Hana laughed. We're so badly built that we're invisible. That's beautiful. Tay practiced combat maneuvers in the debris field. The ship responded instantly to his thoughts. It twisted through wrecks at speeds that should tear it apart. But the asymmetrical design actually helped. The ship's irregular shape created unexpected flight characteristics. It moved like no other vessel in the galaxy. She handles like a fighter, but she's got the weapons of a battleship, Tay said. The Varathians won't know what hit them. Mira moved through the ship, checking on the crew. Many were injured. All were exhausted. They had lost 847 people during construction. Nearly a third of their original numbers. She carried their names with her. Never forgot. Never would. In the medical bay, she found young workers with burns and broken bones. Older engineers with radiation sickness. Everyone working despite their injuries. Despite their pain. We should rest before engaging the enemy, she told Day privately. We don't have time. Every day we delay, more colonies might fall into the Varathian trap. More innocents might die. And if we rush into battle unprepared, we all die and help no one. Day sighed. She was right. 1 week. We drill, we train, we prepare. Then we strike. The week passed quickly. Hana test-fired every weapon. The main cannon exceeded all projections. It was actually 3 different particle accelerators merged into one barrel. When fired, the 3 beams combined into a single devastating blast. The first test shot punched through a derelict battleship like it was paper. That's our ace, Hana said. But we only get 3 or 4 shots before the cannon overheats. Make them count. The secondary batteries were chaotic. Each one fired a different type of energy. Plasma, lasers, particle beams. even some weapons whose principles no one understood. When they all fired together, it created a light show that was both beautiful and terrifying. Tay ran combat simulations endlessly. He practiced fighting outnumbered, fighting surrounded, fighting while the ship was damaged. The bioprocessors learned from each simulation. The ship grew smarter, faster, more dangerous. Jin discovered a fatal flaw. Sir, the ship's structural integrity is held together by improvised welds and mismatched materials. We can take hits, but not many. 3 or 4 major engagements at most before critical systems start failing. After that, the ship will literally fall apart. Then we make those engagements count, Day said. On the 7th day, Day called the crew together. We're going hunting. Our target is a Vorathian mining colony, not to kill innocents, but to destroy their military infrastructure and send a message. He paused. The galaxy thinks humanity is dead, thinks we're weak, thinks we can be hunted and discarded like trash. His voice grew harder. We're going to show them what trash can do when it fights back. We're going to show them that humanity doesn't die quietly. We survive, we adapt, and we bite back. The crew roared approval. This ship wasn't built by the best engineers. It wasn't constructed in the finest shipyards. It was made by survivors using garbage and determination. Tay looked around at the faces watching him, young and old, wounded and whole, all of them fierce, all of them ready. The Scrap Phoenix isn't just a ship. It's a promise that humanity will never stop fighting, never stop surviving, never stop rising from the ashes. He raised his fist. For those we lost. For those who'll never see their new home. We fight! We fight! 3,000 voices echoed as one. The Scrap Phoenix turned away from the graveyard. Its engines blazed with fire from 3 different species technologies. Its shields glowed with impossible energy. Its weapons charged with stolen power. Ahead lay the Vorathian Empire. Mighty, cruel, unprepared. Behind lay the wreckage of thousands. The graveyard of dreams, the killing field. But from that graveyard, something new had emerged. Something the galaxy had never seen. A warship built from scrap, a phoenix rising, a message written in fire and steel. Humanity was coming, and the galaxy should be afraid. The jump through space felt like dying and being reborn. The Scrap Phoenix folded reality around itself, using the hybrid drive's unexpected capabilities. For 3 seconds, the crew experienced something no human was meant to feel. They existed in multiple places at once. They saw colors that had no names. They heard the silence between atoms. Then reality snapped back. The ship emerged into normal space 20 light-years from the graveyard. Jump successful, Jin reported, his voice shaking. All systems intact. That was deeply unpleasant. Agreed, Day said, fighting nausea. But we made it. Tay, where are we? Tay checked sensors. Right on target, sir. The Vorathian mining colony Tarvakis dead ahead, 3 million kilometers. The view screen showed a small planet surrounded by orbital platforms. Mining ships moved between the surface and massive refinery stations. Vorathian patrol ships maintained watch. Everything looked peaceful, orderly. Exactly what the Vorathians wanted people to see. How many military vessels? Dee asked. 12 warships, 4 cruisers, 8 destroyers. All standard Vorathian designs. Tay paused. Sir, they haven't seen us yet. Our interference pattern is working. We're invisible to their sensors. Good, take us closer. Nice and quiet. The Scrap Phoenix drifted forward, hiding among the natural space debris. Its irregular shape blended perfectly with asteroids and ice chunks. Its electromagnetic signature looked like background radiation. Hana studied the enemy ships. Those cruisers are heavy. Lots of armor. But their shields are standard military grade. Our main cannon should punch through. We're not here to destroy everything, Day reminded her. Just the military targets and their communications array. We want survivors. We want witnesses. Why? Jin asked. Why let them live? Because dead enemies can't spread fear. But survivors? They'll tell stories. They'll warn others. Day smiled coldly. They'll make humanity's reputation for us. Mira listened from her station. She understood the psychology. Make the Vorathians afraid. Make them doubt. Make them hesitate before attacking the next human colony. We're in position, Tay said. 2 million kilometers. Still undetected. Battle stations. All hands to combat positions. Dee gripped the armrests of his chair. This is what we built this ship for. This is what we survived for. Let's show the galaxy what humanity can do with trash and determination. Throughout the ship, the crew moved to their posts. Weapons teams loaded missiles. Engineering teams monitored the power systems. Medical teams prepared for casualties. Everyone knew their role. Everyone was ready. Hana, you have weapons control. Target the cruisers first. I want that main cannon ready. Main cannon charged and ready, Hana confirmed. Her hands moved across the console with practiced ease. Secondary batteries armed. Missiles locked on target. Tay, on my mark, drop stealth and give me full combat speed. Straight at them. Fast and aggressive. Yes, sir. Day took a breath. This was it. The moment everything changed. They were either about to become heroes or die as fools. Mark. The scrap Phoenix exploded into action. The engines roared to full power. The ship accelerated at impossible speeds straight toward the Varathian fleet. The stealth field dropped. Suddenly, every sensor in the system screamed warnings. Unknown vessel detected. Varathian communications filled with panic. Reading massive energy signatures. All ships combat alert. The Varathian cruisers turned to face the threat. Their shields powered up. Their weapons charged. They moved with military precision, forming a defensive formation. They were too slow. Main cannon fire, Day ordered. Hana squeezed the trigger. The scrap Phoenix's main weapon unleashed devastation. 3 particle beams merged into one brilliant stream of pure energy. It crossed 2 million kilometers in seconds. The Varathian cruiser's shields barely had time to activate before the beam struck. The shields held for half a second. Then they collapsed. The beam punched through the cruiser's armor like it was tissue paper. It continued through the ship, through 2 destroyers behind it and out into space beyond. 3 Varathian warships cut in half by one shot. Explosions bloomed in the void. Debris scattered in every direction. 3 kills, Hana reported calmly. Recharging main cannon. 40 seconds. The remaining Varathian ships opened fire. Plasma bolts, missiles, particle beams. Hundreds of weapons targeting the scrap Phoenix simultaneously. Evasive maneuvers, Day shouted. Tay's mind merged with the ship. He felt every system, every thruster. The Phoenix twisted through space in patterns no normal ship could manage. Its asymmetrical design created unpredictable movement. Weapons fire passed through empty space where the ship should have been, but not all of them missed. A plasma bolt struck the port side. The shields flared blue, absorbing the impact. The Chromalian generator hummed, redistributing the energy across multiple dimensions. The hull beneath remained untouched. Shields holding at 93%, Jen reported. That defensive system is incredible. Secondary batteries return fire, T ordered. Hana activated all 47 secondary weapons at once. The scrap Phoenix became a storm of light and death. Each battery fired a different type of energy. Plasma cannons, laser arrays, particle accelerators, weapons from a dozen different species, all firing together in chaotic harmony. The Varathian destroyers tried to evade, tried to shield. It didn't matter. The sheer volume of fire overwhelmed their defenses. One destroyer exploded, another lost engines and drifted helplessly. A third took damage across multiple systems. Main cannon ready, Hana announced. Fire at will. The second shot took out 2 more Varathian cruisers. The beam carved through both ships, leaving burning wreckage in its wake. The remaining Varathian ships tried to retreat, tried to call for reinforcements. But Tay anticipated every move. The Phoenix chased them down, weaving through their weapons fire like a dancer. Graceful, deadly, unstoppable. Missiles launched from the improvised tubes. 200 projectiles filled space, each one tracking a different target. The Varathians shot down many, but not enough. Explosions rippled across their hulls. Systems failed. Ships died. 14 minutes after the battle began, it was over. 12 Varathian warships destroyed or disabled. 0 human casualties. The scrap Phoenix drifted among the wreckage, shields still holding at 76%, all systems functional. The crew sat in stunned silence. Did we just... Jin whispered. Did we actually win? Report, Day ordered, keeping his voice steady despite the adrenaline pumping through his veins. All enemy combat vessels neutralized, Tay said. The orbital platforms and mining ships are unarmed civilians. They're trying to flee. Let them go. We're not here to kill innocents. Day turned to communications. Hana, target the main communications array. I want it intact but under our control. Understood. Firing. A precise shot disabled the array's power systems without destroying it. The structure went dark. Jin, can you access their systems? Already on it. Their security is standard military encryption. Nothing special. Jin worked quickly. I'm in. Full access to their communications network. Perfect. Broadcast on all channels. I want every ship in this system to hear this. I want every Varathian listening. Jin nodded. You're live, sir. Day stood. He thought about everyone they'd lost. Everyone who died building this ship. Everyone who would never see victory. He spoke clearly, firmly, with absolute conviction. This is Captain Day Kang of the human warship Scrap Phoenix. You attacked our colony ship. You killed our families. You left us to die in your graveyard. You made a mistake. He paused, letting his words sink in. We survived. We built a warship from the trash in your killing field. We built it from pieces of ships you destroyed, from technologies you thought were worthless, from scrap you threw away. On every screen in the system, the footage played. The battle. The Scrap Phoenix destroying a superior Varathian force in minutes. The impossible ship built from garbage. This is humanity. We are resourceful. We are relentless. We are survivors. You can kill us. You can hurt us. But you cannot break us. We rise from the ashes. We rebuild from the ruins. We turn your trash into weapons. Day's voice grew harder, colder. Tell your empire. Tell your leaders. Tell anyone who will listen. Humanity remembers. Humanity adapts. And humanity is coming for you. He gestured to Jin. The transmission ended. Silence filled the bridge. Then Hana started clapping. Slowly, others joined. Soon the entire crew was cheering. Captain, we're receiving multiple transmissions, Jin said. Every ship in the system is broadcasting our footage. It's spreading across Varathian networks. Someone recorded it and it's already on the Galactic network. Good, let them see. Let them know. Mira appeared beside Day's chair. We took casualties during the battle. 97 injured from the impacts. 12 dead. The shield absorbed most damage, but some systems overloaded. Add their names to the list, Day said quietly. They died as heroes. Captain, we should leave, Tay said. Varathian reinforcements will arrive soon. Agreed. Plot a jump to the next target. We're not done yet. As the Scrap Phoenix prepared to jump away, its sensors detected something interesting. Ships were appearing at the edge of the system. Not Varathian ships. Other species. Pirates, mercenaries, scavengers. All coming to see the impossible warship. The footage was spreading faster than anyone expected. Across the galaxy, people watched a patchwork ship defeat a professional military force. 3 months of running, 3 months of fighting, 3 months of becoming legends. The Scrap Phoenix jumped from system to system, striking Varathian targets with surgical precision. Supply depots, communication relays, military outposts. Each attack was broadcast across the galaxy. Each victory made humanity's reputation grow stronger, but the ship was dying. Day walked through corridors that groaned with stress. Welds cracked, bulkheads buckled. The improvised connections that had held the ship together were failing. Emergency repairs happened constantly. Still, it wasn't enough. How bad? He asked Jin. The engineer looked exhausted, gray, old beyond his years. The structural integrity is critical. Every battle causes more damage. We're down to skeleton crews in 6 sections because we can't maintain life support. The main cannon can only fire twice more before the mounting breaks free. Maybe 3 more jumps before the drive tears itself apart. How many crew left? 2,100. We've lost 900 in combat and accidents. Jin rubbed his eyes. Sir, we need to stop. We need repairs. Real repairs in a proper shipyard. Not more improvised fixes. We can't stop. The Varathians are hunting us. If we sit still, we die. If we keep fighting, we die anyway. Just slower. Day knew Jin was right. The ship was held together by determination and luck. Both were running out. Mira entered the bridge. She carried a data pad with names. So many names. Another 23 in medical. Radiation exposure from failed shielding in Section 9. 12 won't make it through the night. Add them to the memorial, Day said quietly. Every death hurt. Every name was a weight on his soul. They had survived the graveyard, built the impossible, struck back at their enemies. And still, people kept dying. Tay sat at the helm, his neural interface connecting him to the ship. He could feel every damaged system, every failing connection. The ship's emergent intelligence knew it was dying, too. It tried to compensate, Tried to keep flying, but physics had limits even determination couldn't overcome. Sir, incoming message, Hana said. Encrypted. Unknown origin. Put it through. The view screen flickered. A face appeared. Not human. Not Varathian. Something else. Blue skin, 4 eyes, sharp features. Captain Day Kang of the Scrap Phoenix. I am Ambassador Soren of the Concordance of Free Worlds. We would like to meet, D tensed. The Concordance was a coalition of species that opposed Varathian expansion. Powerful, neutral. Not friends to humanity. Why? Because you've accomplished something remarkable. You've exposed Varathian war crimes. You've proven humanity's capability, and you've survived 3 months against impossible odds. Soren's expression was unreadable. We offer sanctuary, repairs, alliance. At what cost? A conversation. Nothing more. If you're interested, we're transmitting coordinates. Come alone or don't come at all. The choice is yours. The transmission ended. It's a trap, Jin said immediately. Probably, Day agreed. But what choice do we have? The ship can't run much longer. We're out of time. We could fight to the end. Go down fighting. We've done enough fighting. Maybe it's time to try something else. That night, D called a vote. The crew gathered in the cargo bay just like they had 18 months ago. They looked different now, harder, scarred, survivors in every sense of the word. The Concordance offers alliance, Day explained, sanctuary and repairs. But there's no guarantee they'll honor their word. We could be flying into an ambush, or we could keep running until the ship falls apart around us, or we find a place to hide and hope we're never found. What do you think we should do? Someone asked. I think we've proven ourselves. I think the galaxy knows humanity fights back. Maybe it's time to see if anyone wants to fight with us instead of against us. The vote took an hour. Arguments filled the bay. Fear versus hope. Suspicion versus desperation. In the end, 1,500 voted to meet the Concordance. 500 voted to keep fighting alone. 100 abstained. Democracy won again. They would take the risk. The coordinates led to a nebula. Purple gas clouds swirled in cosmic patterns. Perfect cover for an ambush. Perfect place for a trap. Sensors show 40 ships inside the nebula, Tay reported. Various species. All heavily armed. If this goes bad, can we fight our way out? Day asked, no, sir. Not against 40 ships. Not with our current damage. Then we better hope diplomacy works. The Scrap Phoenix limped into the nebula. The damaged warship looked even worse than usual. Scorch marks covered the hull. Entire sections were missing. One engine flickered erratically. It looked like it might fall apart any second, which was exactly the truth. The Concordance fleet surrounded them. Sleek warships from a dozen species, each one pristine. Beautiful. Everything the Phoenix wasn't. They're hailing us, Hana said. Ambassador Soren appeared again. Captain Kang, welcome. Please dock with the flagship. We have much to discuss. What guarantee do I have that this isn't a trap? None, but consider this. If we wanted you dead, you'd already be dead. We're not Varathians. We don't kill those who come in peace. Day made a decision. Tay, take us in. Everyone else, battle stations. If anything goes wrong, fight like hell. The Phoenix docked with the Concordance flagship. Day took Hana and Jin with him. Mira stayed behind to command if things went badly. The flagship's interior was immaculate. Clean corridors. Proper lighting. It smelled like recycled air instead of burning metal and death. After 3 months on the Phoenix, it felt strange. Wrong. Ambassador Soren met them in a conference room. 6 other species sat around a table. Each represented a major power in the Concordance. Welcome, Soren said. You've caused quite a disturbance. We survived, Day replied. Is that a crime? No, it's impressive. 3 months ago, the galaxy thought humanity was extinct. Your colony ship destroyed. Your people scattered. Then a warship appears. Built from scrap. Crewed by civilians. It defeats Varathian forces repeatedly. It broadcasts messages of defiance. It becomes legend. We didn't want to be legends. We wanted to live. And now? What do you want now? Day looked at the assembled species. These were the powerful ones. The ones who made decisions. The ones who could help or destroy humanity with a word. We want the Varathians to pay for their crimes. We want other species to know about the graveyard. About the trap. About the thousands of innocents murdered there. And we want humanity to survive. One of the other ambassadors spoke, a tall reptilian creature. The Concordance has been gathering evidence against the Varathian Empire for years. Your footage provided the proof we needed. We're preparing sanctions, economic isolation, possibly military action. Too little, too late, Day said bluntly. Where was the Concordance when they killed our families? Where were you when thousands died in that graveyard? We didn't know, Soren admitted. The Varathians hid it well. But now we do, and we're prepared to act. If humanity joins the Concordance, we can provide resources, ships, technology. You'll never need to build from scrap again. What's the price? Equality. Humanity becomes a full member. You follow Concordance laws. You contribute to mutual defense. You share your unique perspective and capabilities. Jin spoke up. Why do you want us? We're weak, broken. We have no fleet, no worlds. Just one dying ship and 2,000 survivors. Soren's 4 eyes focused on Jin. You built a warship from garbage. You integrated 6 different technologies that should be incompatible. You created hybrid systems that surpass individual components. You fought outnumbered and won repeatedly. You showed the galaxy that humanity doesn't quit. Another ambassador added, every species here respects strength. You've proven yours. Not through military might, but through ingenuity and determination. That's worth more than 1,000 battleships. Day considered. Everything they'd fought for. Everyone they'd lost. It came down to this moment. I need to consult with my crew. Of course, but decide quickly. The Varathians are assembling a battle fleet. 200 ships. They're coming to end this, to destroy you and erase the evidence of their crimes. How long? They'll arrive in 48 hours. Back on the Phoenix, Day gathered the senior crew. 200 ships, Hana said. We can't win that. Even if the ship was pristine, we couldn't win. The Concordance will fight with us if we join them, Day said. Do we trust them? Jin asked. Mira spoke quietly. We don't have a choice. The ship is dying. The crew is exhausted. We've fought well. We've made our point. But we can't fight forever. Tay looked up from his console. The ship is telling me something. Through the neural interface. It wants to fight. One more time. One last battle. The ship is damaged beyond repair, Jin said. I know. But it wants to go down fighting. Not docked. Not abandoned, fighting, Day understood. The scrap Phoenix was more than metal. It was a symbol. A promise. And promises should be kept. Then we'll give it what it wants. We join the Concordance. We fight alongside them. And we make the Varathians regret ever attacking humanity. 48 hours later, the Varathian fleet arrived. 200 warships emerged from jump space. A massive armada designed to crush one human ship. They formed battle formations. Powered up weapons. Prepared to end humanity's story. Then the Concordance fleet appeared. 40 ships versus 200, poor odds. But the Concordance had humanity now. And humanity was good at fighting poor odds. The scrap Phoenix took point. The damaged warship limped forward, shields flickering, engines struggling.